Hello and welcome to a short tutorial about custom SDK editor scripts. So today we'll look at how to install the scripts and to be able to use them properly, how to use the scripts, and their multiple applications. Let's start with how to install the script. This link will be provided in the description. Just download the package. Once it's fully downloaded, open it while Unity is open. Now I already have this folder. It's right here, this one. Usually it should open in your assets folder, like this. So it should be just like that. It'll be installed automatically in the assets folder. Now what you need to do in order to make it work on your map, you need to drag it and drop it where the Unity scene is. So for example, this is my Anon Beach map. The Unity scene is here. So I need to take the scripts and move them in there. There you go. So that when the mod gets built, the scripts will get built too. So this is the basic way how to install them. Pretty easy, not too complicated. Now we can take a look at how to use them. So right here, I got all of these rocks here, which have two scripts. These scripts, they basically change the detail texture of the rock, so that it's a gray one instead of a beige one or something. So that just basically changes how the way the rocks look. If you want to see them, here's a little picture of what they look like in game after the script switching. Note that when you apply the scripts, it won't show up in the editor, it will only show up in game. So let's take a look at how to use them. So let's grab a new rock here. What you need to do is place it properly, create a copy of it, and then tick hide children so that it shows the hierarchy, and delete the script. Now you can go here and you can take a look at the rock. And here, that's where you can see the name of the material and where you can change stuff. So for example, what I'm trying to do, let's just move it over so you can see the changes. So in game, should look like this. That's how it would look when we change the material. But if you save those changes won't be saved, so it'll fuck up. So that's why we need to use a custom editor script which will change the texture at runtime. So what the custom script I was using does is it takes the detail texture switch, and so that script goes and sets the detail albedo map to a map you specify in the script. So for example, if I apply that script on here, go detail albedo, here I'll be able to set the texture. So detail, this is the one we want to use in this case. And then now, so that the script knows which material to change, because sometimes there might be multiple materials, as we'll see later, you need to specify that this is the script you want to change. So rock2 underscore atlas1 underscore sensor rock underscore monsieur. But since I already got it here, just it, I don't need to write it. Usually you'd go in, for example, Google Chrome or Notepad or something, and just type it there on the side so you can still have a look at it when you type it, because you can't copy it. And so there we go. This is the detail albedo, but sometimes you might also need to change the detail normal. In this case, for the rocks, you need to So you just add the other script, detail normal switch, and you select that, just put it in there. And there we go. This rock is fully fledged, and now it can be used properly and stuff. It'll look like this in game, but if I save, it will just lose its appearance because that's how it's made. Next up, let's take a look at how to change textures from houses. So that's another of its applications, which can be pretty useful. And now it has multiple materials on a house. So for example, the roof, the side here, are different materials. So that's why we need to specify the name. So I guess let's take this one, copy it, so you can see better. Create a second copy. Oh, it's the same procedure as last time. Just need to open everything. But this one is slightly different because, for example, if you want to change the windows, then you're gonna have to click on the windows and stuff, but they're also colliders, so you'll have to see. Mostly, this is the one you want to know. So this one has everything you need to get. So it's just the house. So here you can see there are multiple materials. So for example, if you want to change out the roof, that's roof red tiles, to make sure it's that material you're selecting, you can also change the timing values so that you know it's that one. So if you change the timing values, you'll see it change. Slight problem is that it will change it everywhere. So just do the Control Z, and you're sure. And now what we can do, I want to change that to something else. So I can just grab another strip of mine which I have. That's the uh texture switch. So this is when you don't want to switch the material, but only these textures. Um so basically there's also a material switch script which exists. So you can just switch out the material completely and replace it with another material. You can use that, or you can use the other one. For example, it might be better to use the texture switch in when you don't have Uber. So that's a material which is used with Holdfast assets. As you can see, the shader is Uber specular core, specular static core. If you don't have that material package, I suggest you use a texture switch. It'll be less hassle. But if you do have the material, you can just use the material switch and do it in there. And you can even preview the changes better. So that's how you do it with when there are more materials and when you want to change a material completely. Because with the blocks it was only the detail albedo and normal maps we changed, but here it's the albedo, normal, height, and occlusion maps that we can change using the script or this one, which will just switch out the material. Now, how do you obtain all of these textures for the roofs and stuff? And grab Asset Studio, then you need to extract a certain folder, and you will be able to see the items. So if I load a file, then you need to go into the Steam apps, common, Holdfast nations.war data. This is pretty simple to get to. And then you want to load resources.assets, the big file. Take some time to load. Catch you guys later when it's done. There we go, it's done. Now, instead of seeing the scene hierarchy, you can just go to the asset list and search for the stuff. No. How do you know what the name of the texture is? It's also filtered by texture 2D. So, basically, if we grab that thing here, you just need to do Control and click as you can see, it'll say control click to show preview. So you control click on the thing, and then it'll show here the name of the texture. So it's roof GUI round tiles. You can just search this roof, and there we go. We got it. It's right here. But now you might want to change another material because this is the one. This is the material you want to change. So if you know another object which has this the material you want to change to, for example, let's grab I don't know. So if we want to switch out this roof for a blue roof, for example, let's just here. I guess this one. Oh yeah, that roof can do. So you want to copy that root that house too? Not necessarily copy it. Won't change anything because you won't need it anymore afterwards. And you maneuver, get into the house, and then there you go. Now that you have the house, you find the roof, which should be roof shingles. This one, and now you can just do Control plus, check the name. Now you go in roof. Oh, there you go. Roof shingles is already here. So now you just extract this. Note that the normal map will not be created properly. It'll be red. Yeah, that's just the way it is. So you'll need to have it create a new normal map. And to do that, you can basically use Materialize. So basically, you just need to launch your application. Take some time to load. Shouldn't be too long, and then you can open the diffuse map and open the height map, which you previously extracted, and then afterwards the create option will open over here, and you can just press create, change some settings for the normal map, and then you can just do S here to export it. And there you go, you got your normal map. So now that you have all of that, you can just switch out the textures of this house by inputting the textures here, then the material's name, as we learned previously, and you can even change the tint because sometimes the tint is changed by default. So for example, here it's already red by default, so you'll have to change that to be the same as the material you want to change to. So that's how you change a material for a house, I guess. It's not that complicated. For example, I did it on this this thing here. So it has a material switch, which is walled old brick. I can show you how it looks like. I just drag it and drop it. So there we go. This is the material I'm changing to. This is already a Uber material. And cool thing when you have materials that you can just apply them to assets and then change how they look like, and then you just input it in here and it's still good. So that's how you do it. Also you can change with one of the scripts I have. You can change the mesh. So that's pretty useful. For example, if you want to change the mesh of this wall, but you know, uh, if you want to get like the Holdfast style of destruction, like stuff blowing out and things like that, but you want to keep you want a different mesh because for example, if I copy this wall here, component. If I copy the wall here, has an explosion direction and fractured root object root. But that stuff is used in those two scripts, which we're not allowed to have access to. So you'd switch out the mesh of the different stages. That's pretty easy. Basically when you change the mesh switch, you need to input the mesh's name from the mesh renderer, or the mesh filter, I guess. So this is the mesh's name, which you want to input in the script. So if you input that and then put the new mesh you want in here, then you should be good to go, and it'll switch out properly. Note that there's some stuff you can't change. So, for example, the collider of this object will stay the same even though you change the mesh, so beware of that. And when you change the mesh you change to doesn't have any collider because it only changes it in here, and if this one here doesn't have a collider, for example, then you can see there's no collider, it won't have a collider, so you'll have to add one manually on top. It's not that complicated, but it's a little bit finicky. And now, if you want to have access to this mesh, you can basically go in Asset Studio and just search for meshes. The name of the mesh should be stricture, form wall straight, and then you'll be able to extract it and modify it. At that point, though, you might want to just create an entirely like new mesh, custom prefab and stuff. But there might be some occasions where you want to change the mesh of a certain Holdfast set to get all the good stuff. So, for example, the shoot object root and the explosion direction. Now that we know how to use the scripts, basically, um, there are multiple applications which you can use. So for example, making all the roofs and like walls of the houses you have all the same material. That's pretty important, I think, so that it's the theme stays consistent. And then you can also switch out these rocks so that they're gray. You can also change the flags. So, for example, that's what I did on Jon Snow's memorial service. I take a flag here. I took the Prussian flag because I thought it'd be the best flag. Change, and then I just got material. I can find it somewhere. Should be in here. There you go. Just change that to this, and I just use the a match. I got all that. Just used a little material switch with just copy it. So let's see, material switch, remove component, and then I just got the flag. So this is the flag, and then the name of this material is the we want to switch out is conquest flag Prussian. So then I just come up here. And that should be it. Yeah, conquest flag Prussian. And so then I just this material, then just put it on here, and that was it. As it was done, it would change to this when the map would load up, because that's how the scripts are made. They switch out the textures at runtime or materials or meshes. So that's how I did flag, and that's about all the use cases I've used. I also changed the windmill tint because windmill I used was green. Let's see if I can get it. Was it Dutch windmill? I think. Yeah, it was this one. I think so. So I basically changed the tint of this green material, here, the green one. If we look at it, so that it was blue. So it was with the rest of the theme of the rest of the map, basically. So if we grab the windmill, what I changed was this here. Just I changed the albedo map, so it was a white one. Um, let's see, wood. So I changed it to this one, and then I changed the tint so that it blue. Yeah, not as extreme as this, but you know, it was pretty reasonable and it looked damn good. So it was with the rest of the map's colors, and it worked out pretty darn well. So that's another use case, and then houses. One use case I thought about is you could even change the mesh of cannons. So if you want custom cannons, you could basically create some. So if we copy this and then remove the components, you could basically get all you could get the mesh and like yeah, and just change that out. For example, you'd have to change a lot of meshes because these cannons are made with multiple parts, and I think you'd have to keep the wheel's radius the same, and you'd have to basically like the key points would be this here, the tip which the thing which touches. And then when you aim the cannon, you had to keep this pretty constant. You'd have to keep wheels radius constant. The axle here would need to be constant, or at least in the same position, I should say. And then the tip of the cannon should be placed in the same position too, so it's not like too whack when you reload and stuff. So basically you need to use a shit ton of mesh routers and extract a shit ton of meshes too and modify them and stuff. So that then, for example, there's lot 1, lot 2, and yeah, then you'd be able to do it properly. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff with the cannons, as you can see. Um, but yeah, it'd be pretty cool to see someone switch out a full cannon. That'd be pretty interesting, I suppose. So that's another thing I've thought about. Otherwise, you can basically do whatever. So all the custom assets, which you normally can't change the textures, now you can. So if you want some custom stuff, wacky stuff, you can do that. You don't need even to extract the textures from Holdfast. You can use your custom ones once you're switching out the textures on game assets. Yeah, that's about it, I think. We've talked to all the points, so how to install the scripts in the proper folder. So it needs to be in the Unity scene folder of the map getting built. And so since you can't copy that folder all the time, so I can't have this folder in on beach and for example white bait. Um, you need to switch it. You need to change its position. So if I wanted to build White Veil, I'd have to drag this folder into the Unity scenes folder, so that this one would build properly and wouldn't fuck up when you load the map. So yeah, that's some beware stuff. You can't copy this, otherwise it'll throw out errors. You can't. You need to have this whenever you build a map. And yeah, that's about it. Now, how to use a script. We know how to get the materials of the custom game assets, and we also know how to input the proper stuff in the script so that it's all good. And we also know now a few applications that we can use the script to our advantage. So yeah, that'll be about it. Have a great rest of your day. See ya.